Hi everyone, it's Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler, and I usually spout off history about places I visit. Today's episode's a little bit different. I'm going to give you a little bit of history on one of my favorite drinks that no one seems to make correctly anymore, and that's the El Presidente, a nice drink from Cuba. But before we begin, a word from our sponsors. This podcast is produced by Full Metal Worldwide, a digital marketing company out of Las Vegas, which also produces the sports podcast, The Final Countdown, and the combat sports focus program, Levels, which I, of course, host with my partners, Michael Price and Cassandra Cusino. Visit fullmetalworldwide.com or fullmetalsports.com to check out these wonderful podcasts. The El Presidente is a decidedly Cuban cocktail, perfect on cool days in the spring or the fall, or hell, just whenever. Like the telephone, Model T, or cassette tapes, it's a cocktail whose best days have passed. There are very, very few bartenders who can make it anymore. Most wouldn't even try, instead probably meeting you with a blank stare and a half-hearted beer menu. But here's a moment of truth. I've had variations of this drink, but who can know what the authentic taste is unless you find yourself in an old throwback bar in Havana? For that reason alone, Cuba just moved up on my travel list. The El Presidente became the preferred drink of the Cuban upper class and those Americans who could afford to skirt the laws of Prohibition by visiting the Las Vegas of the Caribbean, Havana, Cuba. Author Wayne Curtis, who wrote an excellent article on the disappearing act of correctly mixed cocktails, called Prohibition the Dark Ages for drinks in America, where Americans not only lost the knowledge of making sophisticated drinks, but they forgot what a good cocktail tasted like. Most people attribute Eddie Wolke with the creation of the drink, but like all good legends, no one is completely sure. Wolke supposedly named the drink for Cuban President Gerardo Machado, who reigned during most of the Prohibition years. The drink made its way stateside and had a fun run where I'm positive most serious bartenders would have known this drink like the back of their hands. At least they would have known it as well as an old-fashioned or Manhattan at the time. As noted, like any well-traveled legendary drink, there are many variations depending on taste. Some garnish with a twist of orange peel or a cherry, or both. Some call strictly for curacao. Others say Grand Marnier. All I know is if you get the basics right, you'll have one hell of a good cocktail, a story you can share at a party, and a callback to all lost and forgotten things. Now, if you want a quick recipe, you can go on fullmetaltraveler.com and check out our El Presidente recipe, or you can listen right here. It calls for 1.5 ounces of rich white rum, 1.5 ounces of vermouth, 1 bar spoon of orange curacao or Grand Marnier, depending on your flavor of choice, a 1/2 bar spoon of real grenadine, and a thinly cut orange peel, or like I said, maybe a cherry or both, depending on how you like it. You'll stir the ingredients well with cracked ice and strain into a chilled glass. Twist a swatch of thinly cut orange peel over the top, drop it in, or you can discard the garnish, whatever you want. You can put a cherry in there, like I said, and there you go. It's a pretty simple drink, but it's a callback to a classic that once ruled the American bar scene. How amazing is that? I like that. A little bit of history with your drink, and now you have a little story at a party, and you can mix one of these up. I'd be a really fancy guy or gal. There you go. However you see it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you stick around and come back for more episodes of Full Metal Traveler Podcast. I'm Jeremy Long, the Full Metal Traveler.